Hello everybody, and Travis here for Tpull's Corner, and we're trying to find an opponent for a draft. I just did a quick draft for Eldraine, and I chose black and green colors for the most part. Just a little bit of artifacts in there, not a whole lot. And it occurred to me that I don't usually show videos of me doing the quick drafts. I do a lot of quick drafts. I do them incorrectly because I don't necessarily pick what's best for me. I pick the cards that I don't have to fill in the holes in my collection. So it works out sometimes. Like I only have one copy of the end, so I got my second copy. So that worked out nicely. And so most of the cards that I end up choosing are one way or another cards that I needed 4 copies of. But I do prioritize the colors that I want, at least, for this particular round of the draft. So I'll go in and show you the deck after, and you'll just sort of have to let me know if this is something that you like to see or not, because I realize that I don't usually do videos of the quick draft themselves. I just do the quick drafts. I know there are entire channels dedicated to draft. I don't think there's a channel dedicated to quick draft. I think people are usually looking at sealed and limited and learning to do well on their draft skills. But I'll go ahead and show you the deck construction after this round, and you can get a sense of what I ended up doing. A grabby giant. I think that's a good target for the end. We'll just get some information for right now. I don't expect them to have multiple copies of that necessarily, so I'm just really expecting to use it as, let's see, yeah, so we've got 6/6, 5/4, 4/4. They do have some tough creatures in there, some big stuff. I don't know if I have enough to handle all of that in my deck. So maybe we're hoping we can take them out before they can get too much power down on the field. There's a beanstalk worm though, and we can already afford it. Alright, so here I'd exile a card if I use that. If I bring down the Werefox first, and then let's see, we've got Titanic Growth and a Bellowing Bruiser. I think it's worth it here. We'll get rid of the Titanic Growth, actually. And then I just have to exile a card. We'll exile a land. And we're done. They can still make sure up to 2 target creatures can't block, so they can get in a big hit. If they want to. And considering that's all that they have, they might as well. Right? No, they just bring down the creature itself instead, because it's a haste creature. I guess that makes sense too. Well, I may be in trouble then, won't I? Trade the bigger one, and I still got to put up with a 4/4. I can only activate that as a sorcerer, and only when I got up to 7. That does not necessarily help me right now. So I think we have to give up something to go digging. That is probably as good as I'm gonna get, right? Auto pay. I wish that wasn't a land. Ah, there we go. Okay, so let's get rid of the Troublemaker, and then we'll get rid of the land with Collector's Vault. And now we still have some options. Red Out just takes out a 1/1, but in limited you are likely to come across things with only 1, although we got a peek at their deck and they had stuff like this, which is kind of disgusting because we're already having troubles again, right? Leaping ambush. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. And that has menace, so I need a second creature. I need it fast. Okay. Target creature card. Let's get this thing. Do a monster roll. That'll pay for it. And we attack. If they have another creature, we're pretty much dead, but kind of have to do it this way. Blah, 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 blah. Each deal damage. That's fine, actually, because I have this. And a treasure. You do all the damage you need there, buddy. I'm still alive. Can't block. Down to 2. But I have this. And I have this. And they are top decking. Ha! Yeah, I didn't think you'd want to trade. Okay. This comes down next. And this comes down now. And the flyer goes over and we start to hit them from above. Now, even if they get a removal card, I'm still good to go. This is kind of fun. Bargain. Target the creature. With my 1/1, which boosts up the Voracious Vermin. And that'll be game. By the skin of my teeth. Alright, so since I haven't gone over the quick drafts before all that much in my channel over the last couple of years, let me go ahead and give a couple of things for anybody who's relatively new, or people that, maybe you're not new, but you don't do drafts that much. Let's see, Urbrass Anointer. I don't think I've made a deck with this card yet. Artifact Creature for X and Wizard 4/2. X's number of permanents. Ooh, it's time for me to do another oil deck, huh? It's been a while. Okay, so with the quick drafts in particular, you get 40 card deck. You're basically drafting versus a computer, basically, so you don't have to worry about a time limit. You can take your time and look at all the cards. It's especially good when you've got a newer expansion, you don't know what all the cards are. You start with getting 50 gems in a pack, and it increases the amount of gems that you get per your win. We just got our 5th win, so we went from 450 gems to 650 gems in a pack. And the most that you can get is 950 gems and 2 packs. So I think the break-even point is around 4 wins. Because you have to pay about 5,000 gold to do a quick draft. So I think 3 wins is not quite enough. 4 is just enough that you're kind of making it worth your while. Here's the deck that I got. Come on. And for the most part, I had just enough in terms of black and green cards to make a full deck. The only thing I left out was some draw cards, but those were going to cost me life. So the rest were all white and blue cards that I ditched, right? And red cards over here, and a couple of multicolored cards. So here, I just got these because they're legendary. I didn't have them, you know, they're uncommon or rares, but I didn't quite have enough colors to make use of them in white and blue in what I was drafting. So the only black card that I left out was Rowan's Grim Search. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life. I didn't feel like I had enough life gain in here, but let's go ahead and break down the deck for you. I got 1 new Restless Cottage, so I have 2 of them now, but just 1 for this particular deck. I've got 1 Ego Drain for discard, 1 rat out to get rid of their 1/1. 2 leaping ambush. This is a pretty clutch card, actually. It's come in handy more often than you might think. I often in these quick drafts, I will attack with a creature, and then they will be surprised when I can untap it later. Or the +3 toughness is really good, so that even if you're not tapped, even if they know that you're blocking, if they've got a tactic, sometimes that +3 is all that you need to create just enough. Maybe you don't take out their creature, but your creature survives and it ruins their plans. Baronati, 1/3 flyer. You like flyers. I didn't do a fairy theme with this. I didn't have enough fairies that I could choose from. But the fact that this is a good mana sink is really good for limited. If I get 3 mana to spare, just increase the damage as you're flying over their head and hitting them. 2 candy grapples. This is my removal. -3/-3, or if you bargain it, -5/-5. So that's good because you can see some. We got a peek at our last opponent's deck, and they had a lot of stuff that had toughness greater than 3. So I've got some ways in here. I've got some artifacts. I've got some ways to get food tokens. I've got some ways to get treasure tokens. So there's a good... Eldraine's very good about having things to make you power the bargain with, right? To fuel the bargain. Sugar Rush is my version of a battle tag, and that replaces itself, so that was good. Little cantrip there. Wicked Visitor. Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life. This is only going to net you a point or 2 every match. But the fact is there's a lot of auras that come into play with Eldraine as well. So if you kill a creature that has... If they kill your creature that has an aura on it, guess what? If the Wicked Visitor's out, that's going to be another point that they lose for their life. The Collector's Vaults, these are rated low. You notice it's like... what is it? The first is... 4 is completely unplayable. They call it 1.5 filler, gets cut about half the time. And according to Channel Fireball, you shouldn't be really looting during a match. But I noticed during quick drafts that I end up flooding out with land quite a bit. And I even lost one of my first of 2 matches that I lost today because I'd drawn a land, I used Collector's Vault, drew another land, and then threw one of those extra 2 lands away. And I did that twice in a row. So I had 4 lands in a row, and I basically lost because of that. But Collector's Vault is actually pretty good. Once you get to the point where we've got enough land, this comes in really nice because it does create the treasure, which you can use to power up bargains, or you can just use it in place of the land you threw away. You can use it to cast some extra spells when otherwise you might not have been able to. 3 Bowls of Porridge is pretty good. You tap it. You have to have 2 open mana to do something. 2 damage to target creature, which it's any target creature you want, so there's a lot of versatility there. You can tap target creature, and then you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life. Sweet Tooth Witch creates a food token when you come into play, and whenever you sacrifice a food, target player loses 2 life. Voracious Vermin creates the black rat creature token, then whenever another creature dies, you get +1/+1 on the vermin. Spider Food, the typical... I know a lot of people like to just put this in the sideboard, but if you get a good creature with flying that and you don't have your flyer out, this is going to come in really handy. So I usually have at least 1 card in a quick draft that kills something with flying. Ariet's Whisper. This is another one where Channel Fireball gave it a really low rating. This has come in really handy for me a number of times already in this quick draft alone, where they're down to 2 cards, and it turns out that maybe they had enough mana, they cast something big this turn, and they had 2 other really good cards. There's one where I got rid of their Ariet's Whisper that was in their hand, and another red card that was pretty big. It was like 5 mana card. So that was worth its while right there. So yeah, if you can afford to put this in your deck somewhere, it's not a bad card to have. I disagree with this 1.5 filler rating. Fell Horseman, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, and then you get a 3/3. I like this card also a lot. They gave it a 2.5. I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of these are kind of low. For you're in a limited environment, the ability to get back a really good creature card can come in really handy at the right time. Stingblade Assassin, flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, you get to destroy a target creature an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn. So, you know, it's situational. You got to be careful about when you spend it. You got to be ready with 4 open mana. So it's not the greatest card, but it is another way to remove besides just my candy grapples. Rankle's Prank, I chose. Oh, yes. This is only my second copy of the card. But this isn't the case of me just taking a card because I didn't have it. This is me grabbing a really good card. Sometimes I close out the matches because they're down to 4 life. It doesn't matter as long as my life is more than 4. They don't know that there's this extra clock on their life total. So sometimes I just close out the game by hitting them for 3 points with my creatures that I have, and then I play Wrinkle and have each player lose 4 life, and boom, they're done. If I get outnumbered by creatures, I have them sacrifice the creatures. This card has just so much flexibility. I like it a lot. The End is my other final removal card. That's a pretty cool card. Ferocious Werefox I'm kind of growing to like. You create the monster roll token for only 2 mana, and then you still get a 4/3 Trampler afterwards. That's not bad. I like the design of that card. It's a very good design. Knight of the Sweet's Revenge. I have not been able to use this card that much, but I have been able to create food tokens with it. I don't know if that's really worth 4 mana, but usually if my opponent can do anything about enchantments, this is the one they get rid of. And usually it's tough to get a match to last where you can get 7 mana and sacrifice it. But that's what you can do, where X is the number of foods you control. And so I can get a food with Knight of Sweet's Revenge. I can get a food with Sweet Tooth Witch. I think there's at least one other place in here I can get a food, if I remember right. But that's the deck. Let's go in. I'm doing well. I'm doing better than I usually do, actually. Because my normal practice is to fill in holes, I think this deck turned out a little bit better than most of my other decks. If you tracked my statistics, I probably do not normally win 4 times in the quick drafts. So I'm underperforming. We did good today, though. So either I'm getting better or it's just an accident by the cards that I'm filling in the holes in my collection. I don't think I mentioned it at the beginning, so if you are new to the channel, my name is Travis. I might have said that at the beginning, but I don't think I asked people to like and subscribe yet, so I will ask you to do that, because that does help us out. And Tpull's Corner, if you go back, I've got a ton of playlists and stuff. I was fairly prolific for the first couple of years. This year, my life in real life has gotten incredibly busy, busier than I anticipated. Lots of extra demands and requests upon my time. So I'm mostly going down to about 1 video or 2 videos a week, and that's it. Let's get rid of their pumpable fairy. Kill it when they didn't expect. They just have another one. Well, okay. Should we do it again? I feel like we should do it again. What do they have for only 1 swamp? Making me nervous. Okay, we do the Voracious Vermin. If they do have something, they'd probably rather get rid of the vermin. I would guess. But since I cast a spell, they probably don't think I have a one green spell, right? Okay, so they get rid of that right away. That's fine. They know I've only got 1 green. They're going to fall for this again. They're tapped out. We get rid of their flyer. 2 flyers down. I feel good about that. And now we can get Voracious Vermin back with the Fell Horseman. Could use 1 more swamp. Wicked. Gross. They're still gonna block. What is wrong with these people? I'm not just running a creature into you to commit Harry Carry. There's a reason why I'm attacking with a 1/1. They don't care. They got so much ammo. Let's see. Is it worth bringing? I think it's worth bringing the vermin back. And then we'll just use our mana to tap the Werefox in a second. No, I need 2, right, to power that? I can't tap it this time. They got removal again. They've got 2 rat outs? You are a rat. And just like that, we're in trouble. Okay, maybe they're running out of ammo. Let's see. See what we can do here. Yeah, let's take out the 1/1 first. I'm going to take 4 here. I'm okay with that. That can't block. If they sacrifice their food to save the Hollow Scavenger, I think I'm okay with that. No, they let that through. Okay. Next, you come down. Okay, now they might have a battle tactic, but I feel like my health is low enough. We need to go ahead and block some stuff. Probably should have double blocked. Should have blocked with Wicked Visitor too. We can put that up. Is that all they can do? Yeah. Okay, they're gonna bring it back. Guys. Well, that's a terrible card for me to get right at this particular moment. And that's not any better at all. So I guess it doesn't do me any good to block, so I'll just attack with what I've got. And then we can sacrifice this. Actually, I can tap this guy finally and save me a turn. Now that's kind of interesting. Okay, now please don't attack. It's going to attack. Figures. Alright. Down to 5. Restless Cottage is good. I think we just go ahead and play this now. And then we're relying on our Restless Cottage a lot. Ouch. Let's just gain 3 life now. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You guys are killing me. Not much else to do now. I mean, I can sacrifice this and gain some life. You can see, even with looting, the looting is valuable. It gives me a lot of treasures, so I can cast anything I want basically now. But if all that I'm going to do is draw a bunch of lands, game is over. They drew 7 lands, right? They didn't even loot any lands. They drew 7, and everything else has been spells for them. Yeah, I think we're dead. They need, like, the end spell or something. Come on. Why are you freezing all of a sudden? Thank you. Seriously? Seriously, Arena? 3 lands in a row and another Collector's Vault. Oh, this is lovely. They're gonna laugh at this. Yeah, that was a lot of lands. If they're just going to flood me out in the middle of the game, I'm going to lose every time. So you just can't do anything about that, really. Alright, so what do we end up with? 650 and a pack of Eldraine. Shall we go open up the pack of Eldraine? I've got some decks from Karlov Manor I haven't opened yet, but I think I've opened up everything else I've got. Yeah. So how are we doing on Eldraine? 66.5% of the collection? Alright. Fleet-Cursed Fairy, that's a good one. I think I needed one more of that, possibly. And Karmic Justice from the bonus sheet. Okay. Alright, there you have it. Drafts from Tpull's Corner. That's how we do the quick draft. That's how I do the quick draft anyway. We'll leave it there for now. Leave me any questions. If you're, like I said, if you're new, if you're not used to doing the drafts and you want to see more of them, let me know, because that's something that I haven't been making part of this channel on a regular basis, but I do tend to try and get in at least a quick draft every week. So if y'all do have more interest in seeing those, let me know. I'll do more of them. And if you want to see earlier how I do the draft strategy when we're doing the quick draft, when I'm not just filling holes in my collection, but I'm actually trying to make sure that I win, go ahead and let me know that, and I can start from the very beginning and go through my particular draft choices, and then you'll have some extra insight to see how my brain works and see if you agree with my choices or not. But we'll leave it there for now, and thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a good one.